To the meek and to the defenseless, I pledge my strength.
To the throne and to the order, I pledge my blood.
To the creatures of the first song, I pledge my service.
To the 12 and their scions, I pledge my faith.
And to my dragon, I pledge my heart.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Usually I do this on a Tuesday, but Tuesday was not a pleasant day in my home. So I am here a day late for the faction turn. We won't be going too long because I have therapy in half an hour, and therapy is important, folks. Before I start, I want to highlight I have new glasses chain. These are custom. These are a custom reflect glasses chain that I got from Rosebush Dice, and I love them. And she had enough leftover resin to make me my own custom reflect set as well. So I have custom shiny math rocks. You should check them out over at Rosebush Dice on Etsy. They have a 40% off sale right now. But even after that, we have a 15% off code, Reflect15, that you can use for that. There you go. Okay, last time it was a real janky looking, but now I have super fancy overlays for the faction turn, for the DM turn, because I deserve fancy overlays too. It's not just the players, guys. Maui deserves overlays. I'm just saying. So let us go to first our recap. Boom! Look at that. I told you, fancy. I am fancy. Okay, so. Oops, and I moved it, so now you can't see it. Boo. Stupid thing. 1 second. Let me move this. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So, faction turn. Recap. After resting, Twyla remembered bedtime stories that her father would tell her every night. Remembered him telling her of the Rider's Crucible and Self-Erin's Pass, and the Lake of Luminescence that shows you things that haunt you. Twyla uses this information to warn the group the next day when they head to the Lake of Luminescence, but the crystalline kobolds that ferry you across the lake saw that as weakness and mocked the young potentials. So the potentials, despite Twyla's warning, began to look into the lake and are faced with things that are haunting them. But in that pain, they hear their dragon hatchlings that are calling out to them, so Twyla does as well. So everybody pretty much has a good experience with that, except for our dear Bun Nyla Bunfy, who begins bleeding from her eyes and goes catatonic. After making it to the other side, they reach the lair of the broodmother, Self-Eren. And after conversing with her, in a very hilarious exchange with I believe it was with what's his nut, Zach. They are allowed into the hatchery, and all go in except for Nyla, who realizes that she's not worthy for a dragon. She's not going to be a dragon rider. She's not going to get chosen, so she parts ways. In the hatchery, the psychic maelstrom. So all of the eggs are extremely psychic. So they're so psychic that it kind of like drives you insane in there, and it nearly drives all of them crazy. Some of them even see these horrifying visions of a possible future with red skies and stars falling from the sky before they finally connect with their dragons. Upon receiving their dragons, and when they get to the other side, they then get to go to this ceremony to actually create the dyadic connection between dragon and rider. And after that, they find out about the death of Pax Brunick. After the ceremony for bonding the dragons, the riders do the ceremony to honor the fallen riders. And Pax Maxim, who is dear friends with Pax Brunick, is very upset about this. Meanwhile, somewhere far away, there's this mysterious figure from their youth, which you can find out about in our next month's Patreon offering. Offering will be the character creation campaign that we did. We did these level 0 campaigns for the children before they grew up to be their main characters in the story. But yeah, so we see this mysterious figure, hearing word that the kids have obtained dragons, and he's happy about that. He says, we'll wait for them to ripen up a little bit more before meeting them again. And that's a recap of the session. They will be going into next the Wending and the Will, which is the Wending is the journey that a newly paxed dragoon must do, where they travel the countryside and perform good works. They do this on their way to Flame Mount to participate in the King's Will, a tournament that happens after riders are inducted into the order. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go to our faction turn. Okay, we're on our faction turn now. And you know what? I need some music. I like the music in the background, so I'm going to add that in here. Let me put the music from the waiting screen up in this bad boy. Oh yeah. Let's bring it down a little bit. There we go. There we go. So now we have some nice tunage while we talk. Okay, let's bring that all the way up. Okay, so we are at the faction turn now. Let me go to that screen. Okay, here we go. So last time our unknown faction that we have not revealed yet killed a Pax and Dragon. I think that mysterious figure might be part of that group. Who knows? This week they're going to bribe some officials, or at least try to bribe some officials. And I love some vibe music too. What's up, Steven? Good to see you, man. I can't wait to game with you for the first time. It's going to be fun. Well, this is our faction turn. So in my main campaign right now, we have all these things going on, but in between the sessions, I do a turn for the other things that are happening in the world, so that the world can kind of move around the players and not stay static in between when they're doing things. So I can have updates for them of what happened in the world. So last time we found out that this unknown faction killed Pax Brunick. Is what we figured out in our last stream of this. So this time they need to bribe some officials. We don't know why, though. I mean, I know why, but you don't know why. So you'll also notice that this is a little bit more beefier now. I've kind of redone this screen. The unknown faction does have a perk here that they have advantage on clandestine rolls, which this will definitely be a clandestine roll. So I'm going to say the difficulty for this is going to be, we're going to say a 14. Oh, I love that. Have another episode open in another tab. I love that. So we're going to roll that with advantage. But they fail. They fail to bribe officials. And so that should be, let me replicate this here. And we're going to change that to a no. So that's a no on that. So they were trying to find some people, but everybody was really loyal to the crown, and they were not able to bribe officials. Which means that they don't progress on this. Another new feature here, the faction clock. There's some sort of assassination target that they are planning, and they failed on that, so that does not progress. But there's still time for them to complete that clock. The clock size is 4, so they need to get 4 of these completed before the event that they are going to assassinate at in order to be able to enact said plot. Okay, so we got that out of the way. I'm just going to 20 minutes. Okay, cool. Next, the Dragoons. They failed to get information on the killings. So now they're going to bolster their ranks. That's going to be a military check, and they have advantage on military checks. They are going to bolster ranks, so they are going to call and reassign some riders into an area where there has been more conflict and killings and whatnot. So let's roll that with advantage. I'm rolling crappily, y'all, but that's 11 plus 4. That's a 15. That is going to be a success. Okay, so let me change this. Okay, what have I done? Let's fix that. Okay, there we go. So, next one, bolster ranks, is a success. Next, we have Verdant Circle. They are protecting the forest. Something's going on in the forest. This is something that's going to be good to know because they are about to travel through the forests. So let's see if the Verdant Circle is successful in that. They have advantage when protecting the forest. Let's see, 13 on the die plus, this was military, 13 plus 2, 15. So they are successful in protecting the forest there. Cool. Now we have our Curia Regis. They are requesting extra security forces. And this is kind of a political request here. I'm going to give them advantage on this. But the Dragoons are pulling forces to areas where they're getting hit. So I think that's going to cancel out. So I think they're just going to roll this flat. So we're going to roll that. Oh, shit. That's a natural 1. So they do not get their extra security forces. That is interesting there. And the last thing we have is Urbis Opus, and they are researching the records for leads. They are missing information, so they are researching the records to see if they can find at least like something kind of adjacent to the information that they're looking for. So let's roll this and see what happens here. Okay, that's 15, no 16. So they do have some leads. So okay, let's go back to the recap screen here, and with this new information that we have, let's kind of paint a picture here of what has happened. Come back, music. Let me add that music back in here. I need my vibes. Okay, do that and this. It's from Epidemic Sounds, Timothy Infinite. I like his chill hop. Okay, so we have all that done. We're gonna now paint a picture with that. So, the unknown faction has failed to bribe flame mount guards and infiltrate the ivory guards. That's a little redundant, but you get what I'm saying. The ivory guards are the guards in flame mount. Flame mount was like officials. Okay, got that. Okay, got that. Okay, bolster ranks. The Dragoons have diverted forces to danger areas, and we're going to say that on the next unknown faction roll, they have disadvantage. Ho, 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 ho. verdant circle. Let's say they've found some sort of dark force. I want it to be something cool, something like monstrous, like almost fairy tale like, maybe some sort of like corrupted fae. Like think of like Princess Mononoke and like those like gods that were corrupted, like the boar god and whatnot. Something like that. I'm trying to think if anybody in the chat has any ideas of like what kind of creature or fae thing this could be that is corrupted, that is spreading some sort of like blight in the forest, like a forest blight. I think that could be fun. Let's see, what's something that you would find in a forest? Those like foresty animals that we could use for this and turn into some sort of fae spirit. Forest animals. Bear. A bear could be good. Some sort of corrupted bear spirit. And have contained him and are trying to stop its blight from affecting the forest. Okay. So you're now getting a picture. These are things that now the players can stumble upon during their travels through the forest, during the hex crawl. I can add that into the list of possible encounters. And then they can potentially meet the Verdant Circle, and now they get to interact with another faction. So now you see how this works, right? Curia Regis. Military forces are stretched thin, and they have not gotten the additional forces requested for the king's will. Okay, so we have that. Oops. Okay, got that. And then finally, Urbis Opus. I'm doing that time. We have 11 minutes. Perfect. Urbis Opus have researched the records for leads, and they were successful in that. So we'll say Urbis Opus has found a potential tangential, so we'll say it's not 100% connection, and are looking for leads in the they're looking for leads in the Iridian Expanse. Yeah. And let's connect it to one of the characters. They have dispatched Clara Parrish, who is Twyla's mother, Sadie's character in the game. Parrish to obtain a lost journal. okay, now I have some hooks, and that's how my faction turn works, and I'm done. Right. So now I have so I came up with my recap. I'll read that at the beginning of the next session as well, and then I have my faction turns. So now I have all of my potential hooks that I can kind of toss in there, and I can turn some of these into secrets that they should find out during the session and things like that. That's pretty much it. I think it's a pretty cool way to do things. I got the idea from a system called Stars Without Number, Worlds Without Number. It's really great. There's some really great tables in there. But the faction turn was something that I thought was really cool. I adapted it slightly, kind of made my own system to fit within the Nimble system that I'm using, so that's a little bit more straightforward. And then I also took the faction clock. The clock system from Blades in the Dark, so that if I have more complex things that need a series of things to go right before they can do the thing, they need to complete the components of the thing. So added that in there as well. As we continue to go, we're only 2 sessions in, but as we continue, things should get more complex, and I should be able to learn more, and there can be more faction clocks happening. So the Verdant Circle. Perhaps if the group interacts with the Verdant Circle, and then I build that out a little bit more, well, maybe there's a Save the Forest faction clock, or from the whatever is causing the blight, maybe they have a Destroy the Forest faction clock, and it's a race to see who does what first. You know what I mean? The kids episode on Patreon. It was inspired by World Beyond Number. I listened to the children's campaign there. I was like, oh, that's really cool, and I wanted a way to do backstory very organically. So I was like, okay, well, let's think of not what kind of riders you're making, but what kind of people they are. And so let's start them as children before they have butted up against adversity, and see them in their most idyllic life, and then see what happens once we introduce the danger and introduce more intense things to them. So it's a 2-part thing called the Festival and the Fire, and through the course of that, we kind of find out who they are, and they find out who they are when faced with adversity. And I thought it was really cool. It's going to be 2 sessions, and it hasn't released on Patreon yet. It's going to be part of our April offering for Patreon, which is also my birthday month, which I will transition into saying that if you like what we're doing, please consider joining up on Patreon. At the least, there's a $2 level. You don't get all the cool goodies like the children's campaign, but you do support me and help me keep the lights on to make it so that I am able to do this, and that is much appreciated. At the $6 level, you will get the children's campaign. You also get a monthly mote of information. This month's mote will be a PDF of a bunch of stat blocks for the 40 Rooks, which is you'll see them on the $12 level. We have the full zine adventure magazine. It's an adventure that involves 40 Rooks, so you'll get to meet a lot of the 40 Rooks in stat block form, from the low level street urchins, the pickpockets, all the way up to the Sundown King. So there you go. That is our faction turn. Thank you, Stephen, for hanging out with me, and thanks for anybody watching on VOD. Anybody who's watching and not in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for supporting Reflect, and I will see you soon. Now I'm off to therapy to bitch about my neighbors who are driving me insane. All right, bye everybody.